welcome into another deck guy with Boneyard Gaming. So this will be episode 4 of our Push to Pro Rank series, and we used NR again, and this time a shield wall. First off, we originally saw the deck with McBeard, and I'll say something quickly about McBeard. When I first started playing Gwent, and I needed help making it into Pro Rank for the very first time, I discovered McBeard since he was the NR faction ambassador. I kind of leaned on him for good NR decks, and he didn't fail me. He's done a great job. Big thanks to McBeard for always putting out great content for us NR fans. So thank you. So we saw this list on one of his videos, and we brought it in. We started rolling with it. I made some slight changes to the bronze package. The gold package remains untouched, but a fantastic list. Again, we made some tweaks to it, but we're starting off with a tactical advantage. I could say, you could run engineering solutions if you want, but PA is quite fine to really keep some engines going. This is a siege list. It's a siege list that really involves kind of more meta golds in the duel series. So really powerful removal combos. We've got just wide removal, we've got ping damage, we've got tall removals with our duelist warfare cards. This deck really does have every combination you could ask for to punish your opponents. So the siege package isn't huge in the list. So you can see, as far as engines, I know Frigate could do it, but rarity that you'll really get siege in there in frigate value, but it is possible. We dropped reinforced ballistas. The thing I like about reinforced ballistas, you play in the back row, they inspire up 1, so they go to a 5, and then every time you play a warfare card, they gain a charge. So certainly nice to get some limited value and some extra charges by playing extra warfare cards. So then the other thing is, we have a siege ladder and then 2 ballistas in there. So you can see that your package to get scenario off is somewhat small. That's kind of one of the weaknesses of the deck. But again, I will say this: siege is not a super strong scenario by any means. So, there's a lot of times that if we missed out on a bombardment, oh well. It's not the worst thing in the world. And seriously, I will say that with heat wave prevalent in here, don't worry about it getting heat wave. In fact, if you have the package in round 1 and you're on blue coin or red coin and you want to really go after round, we played siege in round 1 plenty of times. It's not like you have to hang on this thing and play it in your strongest round by any means. So if you've got the package to use it, get it out. So Varaxis, Amphibious Assault, which, gosh, Amphibious Assault is such an OP card. I think by far Amphibious Assault is the best Echo card. And I really think it works well in short rounds. It works well in long rounds. It can grab great engines. Come at me, bro. Who's better right now than Amphibious Assault as far as Echo cards go? So, because we are not Devotion due to Lacerate, Varaxis only goes to his second form. So, you won't get him boosting soldiers in the 3rd round. So, feel free to hang on to him. He can be your last say, essentially, if you need him to be, or you're, close to the last card you play. So don't worry, he only goes to his second tier of card. but plenty of options to get a card back here. Obviously, Prince and Say's Gullet are your huge targets. Should you miss one of those, I mean, he would play on Trollio, Ballista possibly. We reset even the charging ram in the scenario he resets. So a couple different options should you miss out on and season in the Selkirk. So Triss, huge value here. The reason we're really running Triss, you know, obviously getting another Warfare card possibly, but I really think Lacerate's your big target. But again, she's diverse, so you could get a boosting card, you could get a boiling oil damage card, you could get a wide punish Lacerate. So just the fact that she's versatile is huge. But really, I think the most times I used her, I was really hoping to get a Lacerate out of her. And C's is really, he's my favorite card in the game, hands down, no questions asked. You're gonna see in one game that C's with a little boost knocks a 23-point gourd on its ass. So, dueling is OP. With shield dueling is God tier. I mean, it is insane what this can do. So, Selkirk, you know, that's the one thing I will say I like about staying away from meta shield wall. Is really, you only need NCs, Selkirk, and Varaxis to really make shield wall pop. So again, Natalis is a great card. Plenty of targets. He will not get your Lacerate. That's an organic, technically, even though it's a neutral card. So he doesn't get you that. But, you know, we have plenty of options to make Mad Charge work really well. A Boiling Oil, of course. So, you know, and then, of course, if you don't, if you really need it for your AA, certainly he's there. So, a lot of chances to make sure we don't brick him. Trollio is a fun card. One of the best voice lines, like 30 seconds long, but it's awesome. Anytime you play a Warfare, he'll gain armor, and then at the end, once you played all your Warfare, you can use his Zeal to make him lose his armor and boost himself by that much. So, pretty cool card there. Plus, he's a soldier. So, you know, we are limited in our soldiers here. So it's always nice to make sure that we have soldiers for Carrack Frigate value. And that's, in fact, one of the big changes I made was getting more soldiers in the list instead of Warfare cards. I will post McBeard's original list in my alternate list, as well as a link to his video. So, you know, be sure if you want to use his original list to go ahead and, you know, give a like to his video, a sub. Again, you know, we really want to show McBeard love for introducing us to the core of this list. So again, Anna, OP, especially with a shield proc to her, give her instant inspiration so that she's giving unit value on both sides. I cannot tell you how awesome Lacerate is in this list. Think about this. You drop Siege on your back row to where it'll spawn a reinforced trebuchet. Well, that gets your opponent to start row stacking. And there's so many decks that are playing wide right now. I feel like last month it was about playing tall. We're seeing elves. We're seeing Congregate. We're seeing so many things go wide. So, you know, if you put Siege out there, it's going to force your opponent to row stack. And then Lacerate, give him the 1-2 punch with the Lacerate. Even get a second Lacerate with Triss. Huge damage. So the Frigate's our chance to go wide. Help us really get a round. We only have one of them in the deck, so, you know, use it early on and commit to it. But we love Frigate. Certainly an auto include in almost any NR deck at this point. So Boiling Oil in the Warfare category. Again, reinforced ballistas play well. Getting that extra boost for Warfare play, plus working in our scenario package works awesome. So Mad Charge is certainly a great card. Works well in the 4. Your Kedweni Knight is almost a must-play with your your Amphibious Assault, which plays for 12. So, you know, he's a Knight. Same thing with the Syntron Knight here. So that really gives you ability to control a Knight and get that extra 3 Vitality, which is so huge. The other thing we made changes was getting another Siege Support. So Siege Support is huge. If you play in the melee row, technically you could give another charge to your Reinforced Ballista, or play in the range row could boost a unit, which is so huge value there. But the huge thing about him is he's going to give you instant zeal. So you could play and seize on a back row to give him an instant inspire, and then give instant zeal. He works well with your Selkirk. So these are the 2 cards you could give instant zeal to. Certainly it would work with a Ballista here. So lots of things in this deck that need zeal. So adding 2 siege supports that are also soldiers, great value. We like our siege supports. Again, Kedweni Knight's you know, a huge AA target, which goes to 12. Siege Ladder, really not. If you're not playing Siege Ladder in a round, it's really because you've done good. You don't want to see your Siege Ladder. He's the weakest card in the bunch. But there is 1 or 2 games where we had him basically because maybe we were aggressively mulligan him, and we got him, and he helped us get a Trebuchet on the back round, you know, back to a row or something like that. Again, Ballista's nice. You know, they play for good damage. And then along again for our scenario package. Syntron Knight, you know, he again, you get a good death blow on him, and you get a chance to play a 4 for 7 with him. And then because we need inspired on a lot of things, Anna, Falkirk, and Seize, there's so many things that we could really use a boost and a shield for. Plus he is also a soldier, so that really makes Royal Guards pretty special in the list. So there's our list, guys. Very strong, 15-5, 75% win rate. Got into pro rank with it, expecting to do good things with it inside of pro rank as well. We really hope you enjoy the list. Again, if it's not too much to ask, like, subscribe, support for McBeard as well are always appreciated on that front. And guys, we really hope you enjoy the video. Thanks so much. So game 1 here is against Battle Trance Skellige, and we think that Skellige is, this thing can slam points and slam units. So this is why I highlighted this deck, is to show you our 2-0 ability. If you look at the list here where I show the games, we 2-0'd a lot of opponents with. We were able to win on even, essentially red coin abuse. We got a lot of value of pushing strong, winning on even, or even on blue coin where we were down a card, we'd still push and win being a card down. So that's the power of the deck here. So you can see we're on red coin here. I've got my scenario package. I will say this, an earlier version where I was testing out different bronzes, I did try thinning with Dun Banner, but essentially went away from Dun Banner after a few games. So that does feature the Dun Banner in there, if you're wondering that, but Dun Banner is not in the list anymore. These thinning packages are really good. I mean, you know, I just got done playing a Battle Trance deck. You know, essentially, if they've got the correct discard cards, you know, those 4s play for 8s and thin decks. So, extremely important. But I know how strong this deck is, and I know I'm coming out ultra aggressive. I like what's in my hand. I'm committed to winning round 1. And it's sometimes nice to... You know, the difference about having your golds where you're like, man, these are round 3 golds. I don't want them in my hand. And so, you know, you're kind of forced to hold on to them when really you kind of hope you draw them later in the game. I wanted to be careful about that, to say, hey, you know, let's push as hard as we can in certain rounds, but not be afraid to certainly use some of our cards within reason. Again, you don't want to commit too much to a round, but that's always a fine line about, you know, you commit too much to win a round and then you're weak on the rest of the rounds. But I think coming out of the gate here, we were committed to going in. And the more we see our opponents actively commit good cards, lets us know we can keep committing good cards as long as we're keeping good pace. So the Draco Turtle's coming down. I see that that's a big threat. The larger we allow that to go. And I think answering that with an NCs right away is a fair trade. For sure. You know, we do lose Anna proc there, but, you know, so what? You know, he does have an opportunity. A lot of those decks carry the gold phrase blessing, essentially, where they can bring a good card back. Possibly we could see Defender later in the game. But, again, still thought that was an opportunity to commit and see. So he's going to commit Ermion here, which, you know, like I said, he's already trying to counter me getting second opportunities there. And that's fine. So, you know, like I said, we use our opportunity to thin there. We ended up getting another siege support in. We put siege support and the knight back in and took Dun Banner. In fact, there was just a lot of opportunity where thinning was just too hard. We don't have too much individual card boost where it just made a really good opportunity to get Anna rocking. Anna is a strong card. It's very much worth removing with the Heat Wave. I don't think that's a bad play by the opponent by using his Heat Wave, because guess what? He's not expecting, he's probably thinking that all we have is a Defender with a lot of element of surprise. Your opponent's going to think that you're some meta shield wall list, that you're going to get Defender. He's got his Gremlins ready to purify your Defender, and they're not ready for Siege. Siege, to me, can be a little bit of a surprise to units. And then when they get Siege, they're certainly not expecting the Lacerate here. So I do think that there's a lot of good opportunity to use those elements of what your opponent's not ready for. And then they're going to... So that means they'll play into it. And I think he took a little bit of an early pass there. He kind of surrendered that round a little bit early in my mind. In fact, the fact that we didn't have to win the round using Amphibious Assault and we get it second round, that tells me that, hey, we're on even. We can push hard here and still get Amphibious Assault for a third round. So I really, really like our hand here. But, you know, like I said, you commit. Right now, we'd have to use Amphibious Assault. See, the thing is, we have to use Amphibious Assault to get the last proc on our scenario. But again, I'm like, hey, we'll use our Kedweni Knight in round 3 for a 12-point slam if necessary. So I feel like, hey, that's the way to go with the round. So again, having Triss for row punishment, you know, I just feel like, we're looking good. So again, we're going to throw scenario out right away. So again, you're going to see an opponent play a couple of things here to play around our scenario. He actually plays a Ceres. You might think it's a misplay, but if you really think about it, it wasn't actually a misplay. So he played, because he's got his Drum and Shield and Maiden, so he must have bricked the Ceres. So he's got Drum and Shield Maiden, so he can damage that, or let us damage it to get the rest of them out. And then play a Ceres on the back realm, and let our random uncontrolled damage from our Trebuchet possibly get value from the shield drumming. So it's an interesting piece there. Just hoping we'll damage that for him. He was kind of able to play around his brick, which was interesting. So again, Caceres is there. So now he plays that in the background, which spawns a Queen's Guard. I'm sorry. And then every time that gets hurt, he can just complete infinite copies. So he's kind of playing my trebuchet against me, which I thought was really, really interesting. So we didn't want to see that happen. So it's a little bit rough for us because our bombardment is going to play again, kind of against us. So see that? We automatically get that out. But that's alright. We've got enough damage to eliminate the Queen's Guard before it ever is going to see value. So that's really, really good for us. But we really, really hurt Mr. Opponent here. Again, which makes this push just even more lucrative for us to just, you know, keep rolling instead of trying to pass and maybe have him go a card down. So we kind of do end up row stacking ourselves a little bit, but, you know, again, we're kind of not expecting row punishment either. We know we have a reset and an extra shield charge. I think anything over 10 is usually worth taking care of, so. Again, we're just bringing the heat. So much punishment. But, you know, like I said, he's just about to get scenario out, which is fine.
Trust equally in heart and mind.
But again, we love to see scenario because we know we got row punishment. That's why we're playing our tall removal right now. Is because we are certainly fine with letting that row punishment build a little bit of ground here. Except we haven't even used our battering ram here because again, we know with row punishment, it's really not seeing much value yet.
Reach beyond what the eyes see and the ears hear.
But right there is what you want to see. That's perfect. We'd like to high roll Triss just in case. You know, since she's the not the guaranteed lacerate, it's usually kind of interesting to see where she's exactly going to play for us. Which, like I said, we didn't get lacerate there, but really, honestly, 2 lacerates would have been a little bit. We wouldn't have gained much value from it, so that's honestly okay. You know, I think if she would have given me the lacerate there and I would have used it, it could have been a little bit of a trouble. Yeah, we don't. We didn't control the knight, so we thought Madramon was the way to go here.
But she brooks no insult.
There he goes, gets full. Now he's got bonded, but like I said, you know, Mr. Opponent's trying to hold his scenario. He didn't get it out earlier because he wasn't expecting the push. And there, I mean, we just slaughter it. So if game 1 was showing you wide punishment, let us show you how you do all punishment. I really want you guys to understand it's a little bit interesting to understand how the dual mechanic works, about how high you can reach with it. But I think that, you know, I think there's a calculator. You can find a couple calculators online that'll help you understand it. But it's something that it's like, I'm not ever sure the exact science to how dual goes. But, and especially when you throw shield wall in the mix, it just really almost makes it limitless, it feels like. Like I said, we know that we dropped Lacerate here because we think that we are not going to see value. We think that there's a good chance that we can win on even here because, you know, we think a lot of times, you know, they play so slow sometimes where they just feels like all they're doing is building carryover for a really, really good round 3.
Fall overboard and I'm not jumping in after you.
So again, you know, we have scenario in hand. We're not going to be afraid to use it. Like I said, opponents already using shield procs. And I will say I love when, you know, you got to be careful with those shield procs because it can be sometimes tough to see leader value. So again, you know, Troll Olio really, in my mind, ensures that, hey, I'm committed. It's the first step to me committing to a long round. Again, I really want to see good value from his warfare ability. But I mean, opponent is getting very aggressive with his removal. But the moment I see Becker's Rock Slide, I'm like, wow, let's frigate hard here. That's the only thing you usually have to worry about. And if he were to commit a heat wave to frigate, at that point, gosh, you're fine with that. But even better, he commits leader ability. And that shows me this opponent, he knows that he's committing everything he's got to Gord. He wants to make it punish. He absolutely wants to bully us out of this round. He's going to commit everything to get it. And I mean, honestly, he's only 14 up on us at that point. We're not going to leave so easily. So getting Frigate out, like I said, I was not expecting him to get full removal on it, you know, at all. Like I said, we're just trying to keep pace on the round here, and you know, I think we know that opponent has committed so much to the round that at that point it's like, all right, you know, he can't back out now. And then I said with Circle of Life, we know that with how aggressive he's being, he probably doesn't feel like he's got to hit himself out because, you know, he only cares about last say. There's no way you shield proc at the beginning if you're super interested. But, you know, we were interested here to see him kind of give up on the round after committing so much to it. Especially because we have leader ticks.
Long live the king!
So that's fine. I mean, he commits leader ability. You know, you probably say some of these are misplaced. I mean, if you really do look at his round 3, you'll see that they really aren't misplays. I just don't think he understood how tall our removal can go with these duelists. You know, you think your gourd will be safe. You think the only thing that can take your gourd down is a heat wave. You know, so my question here is, do we take him to a round 2 and try to bleed him a little bit and stop him from a long round 3? But honestly, with Gord, you know, playing almost a long round 2 plays really in Gord's favor. So I thought, man, we almost are favored in the long round. Especially because we don't love our draws here. We really did not like how well our round 2 mulligans went. So it's like, all right, you know, let's definitely pass and take the long round. You know, we want to be able to get Ked Wendy Knight out and, you know, get another ballista style in there like we did so that we can use our AA for the Ked Wendy Knight. So that's big right there, to be able to get that out and a ballista in and then our Selkirk in. So huge. You know, we really, there's a lot we still want. You see, this is why we're starting to get rid of Dun Banner here. You can see the thinning for him just never really played into our favor. And if you can't thin him, then he's dead in your deck. That's why there were plenty of other good options besides the thin. I mean, just ultimate aggressive carryover. You know, I'm surprised we didn't see a Dunka. He probably missed it. But we do. We want to get that scenario established early, and we want to get lacerate value. And scenario helps us do that. You know, the one thing I would say I probably did wrong here was I should have played a ballista prior to playing a scenario. Because like I said, when you play bombardment, for every siege engine you have, you get extra damage per bombardment. So really, I'm missing out on a bombardment. Now, that sucks. We did get heat waved here. You know, kind of does suck, but because we got our siege support up, we're really trying to get rid of that carryover. Again, our trebuchet is still rolling, so we still feel like we're going to earn carryover value here. So again, we're siege engine heavy here. And we don't have any units to compete with. You're almost wondering, was Lacerate the right call here? But we are up good points. You know, missing Varaxis certainly sucks. So that's why, you know, getting his All God there, the fact that he had leader ability already used, but he could still use Novigradian Justice. At least get 2 of the All God procs so that he's only missing 1. So again, with that, it's like, gosh, yeah, we're ahead, but opponent can catch up quickly. We got circled of life to death in this one, though. So again, he's playing, you know, like I said, he doesn't have many units in hand. He's only got specials. So I'm just every moment we're watching our lacerate value go down, especially because he got leader out. You could at least get lacerate value there. I mean, if you think about it, lacerate's a 7 provision card. So you really only need 4 cards to get lacerate value. Even a 6 for 7 isn't the end of the world. But gosh, 2 or 4? That's awful. You know, we wonder with this if that's, you know, if we're going to see this get kicked down pretty hard because of Sheldon. That's the one unfortunate thing is we're like, man, that Ked Wendy Knight's probably going to get blasted by Sheldon. And then here comes this point slam with Novigradian Justice. So, you know, now he's playing units. Here's the great thing. Because of that trebuchet, He plays that front row. I guarantee you, if we don't have Trebuchet there, he stacks that. He stacks those cards, the two dwarfs to the back. So I guarantee you right now, we instantly got Lacerate value.
A grave error.
And the opponent goes ahead and throws out a taunt. Because look at that. He gets Sheldon. I mean, look at that. He just instantly just smacking us. He just dismembered our Kedwenny Knight. But anyway, here comes... We ended up, last-ditch effort, getting, you know, 8 damage here. So that certainly ended up playing nicely for us. But this is the big deal here. This is what I want you guys to see. Look at that. 9 gourd plus a 14 boost. Look how fat this gourd is. A 23-point gourd. Okay. You're up 24 points on us. Alright. And C's. Thank God we got the double shield proc still. Because we're going to make you eat this BM, Mr. Opponent.
Need a good slap.
I'm debating it, but I'm like, no, we have to. We have to go. It's gourd or lose. And clap that gourd hard. So, back to wide punishment here. I think you're going to see this month a lot more decks. Because, you know, Lacerate is a neutral card. Even though it falls under the organic card. But I just think that there's so many times where we were like, oh my gosh, please, please, please give me a Lacerate, where we're just begging to get Lacerate, or we're throwing Triss down and we're begging Triss to give us the Lacerate, which, you know, she's known to not do that. That's why we're Team Shani all the way. But you know, Lacerate, I think you're just going to see, you know, we faced elves a lot, so we punished elves hard. We bleed elves because they are really strong in round 3. Same with Congregate, you got to bleed Congregate because it's really strong in round 3. We just cannot tell you how valuable Lacerate and when Triss, when she wants to be, can be in this deck. So again, we don't have Lacerate to kind of combo with our siege, but we do want to. Again, it's just too hard with the limited amount of siege engines we have. You know, if you use all your, if the many siege engines as we have in our deck, there's no way you're gonna play those and then get siege value later in the game. You're not gonna, you know, see them unless you want to just play your 3 cards and pass. But, you know, again, don't be afraid to drop siege out and roll with it. It's not the world's best scenario, and so you don't have to wait for this perfect timing to get it out. So we want round control here. So that we can bleed. So that's why we kick Firaxis. I mean, you might think, why would you kick Firaxis? Because we don't want to play him in round 1. We're not worried about killing tall units. You know, and I know that they've got a couple units that could go tall, but I know ANSYS can clap it before it gets tall. So we're not worried about that necessarily. And we think that our success in later rounds could come from Firaxis value. So we still have Frigate left to go.
Dark clouds gather over Temeria.
Look at this, though. Look at the Trebuchet. This is why I'm telling you guys I put Trebuchet, or the Ballista, I'm sorry. This is why we put Ballista in there. I think right there just shows that you get 2 of those out to proc your scenario. You throw out... I guarantee you, if you have both Ballistas on the battlefield, you better be throwing every Warfare card you can find on the deck, because that's 2 extra points every Warfare would play. And then shoot, you combine that with the Trollio, and good God, friend, you could put some points. You get some really good value for your provisions, essentially. So this is, you know, again, we're looking at these cards and we're just, damn, really wish we would have had Lacerate. But that's okay. We know that, you know, he's going to play wide in multiple rounds. So if we can just maintain good round control here, that's okay. We'll see. We'll be fine to hold on to those lacerates possibly a little bit later. Again, this is why, you know, I hate to. Dun Banner just unfortunately was a good concept, but didn't come into good practice for us. You know, I'm not gonna waste a charge on him to get him out, and I really don't want to have to play my Anna if we don't have to. You know, so. And if you don't get Dun Banner out in first round, he's there. That's the thing. He's not playing value for you. Always aggressively mulligan that Kedwenny night out. And then again, the chance of bricking your Dun Banner, we did that once. Alright, yeah, Lacerate. Look, I mean, when that Lacerate came out, you have no idea how hard we were begging to be given that Lacerate. So we just know that, oh, we're going to see huge value. And, you know, look, Congregate does play a lot of shield. You know, they get a lot of armor value. I should say armor value. So that's certainly always a scary piece, is to be like, oh gosh, you know, do they get armor? And is our Lacerate going to play for 1 point? But even still, even if your Lacerate play... Now, obviously, this deck, the Congregate deck can really point slam. So you have to almost think, gosh, if I'm getting 1 Lacerate, that could really hurt. But even a Lacerate would still probably see great provision value, because, you know, they're going to fill their rows up. So again, he's already going to put his Sacred Flame out there because, you know, like I said, he knows that we could go deep in the round. He's got kind of against his back against the wall here. The great thing is he's row stacking. Now, I will say, I don't really see how you play around Tavern Brawl here. That's the unfortunate piece. And that's why I'm starting to build up my Anna here, because I feel like if he tries to play one of my own units against my Anna as they build up, I have to make Anna clap my unit back, because we don't want to lose Anna. And so that's why I'm being very, you know, trying to really understand how we play around Tavern Brawl the best we can. So again, always nice to see procs. You know, you wonder when because he hadn't played his Eternal Fire yet, I was like, man, we have to take it. We have to take it and deny him that boost value. So we did, you know, we thought about maybe hanging on to it longer. Do we try and get greedy with it? But at that point, I'm like, no, forget about it. And again, even if we hadn't played that Lacerate there, he probably puts that in the back row and then boosts, and then boom, he gets major boost, and then we lose value. But we were hoping Triss would give us another Lacerate, because we were like, man, if we hit him with double Lacerate, we're getting the 2-0. So we were really hoping to get a
The
2-0
Empire
here,
will be
and we think a double Triss Lacerate would have caught it for us. Unfortunately, Triss did not deliver for us there, and that's just the thing about the deck. You know, it sucks. But you know, you're you know, with RNG, there's sometimes you're gonna get it, and you know, then you're gonna get those 2-0s. So at that point, I feel like it was worth getting our AA out. You know, I think we could have probably passed there. But, you know, I guess getting AA out for the 12 point and then, you know, trying to prolong more Ana value probably was still probably a pretty good move. But he's playing now, he's in the strength of his deck. It was nice to get the final leader proc out for him. Certainly got bank out, so they're probably good there. I really don't know why he chose Lieutenant here. I guess probably the best card option, even though he had limited road space.
Yes, you. Have you made your offer?
I guess probably, yeah, to switch all, to use coins and turn all the coins in. Yeah, that, I mean, I guess he's not really worried about, it's not like a cache, hidden cache deck where he would be able to hoard a lot easier, so never mind. So again, we're trying to play low units. Like I said, we haven't seen Tavern Brawl come out quite yet. But again, yeah, we were able to get Siege Ladder out and still keep lead. So it's kind of nice. We're playing a garbage card, but we're able to go points ahead of him here to make him get his Echo card out, which that's when it's like, okay, we're done. This round is over. But again, this isn't a round 2, and we don't care. So what? We do know that he's going to get his Echo card back in round 3, but we have a duelist, so certainly no worries here. I'm going to tell you, so we get really fantastic draws here. I mean, it's like, do you even really mulligan this? There's nothing that I want to see. And again, this is, look at it. So this is, it's too risky. It's too risky to go get Varaxis. And honestly, in a short round with 2 shield charges on our shield wall, you know, who cares, right? We think we have a fantastic hand. We're so excited about it. And then, oh my God, we see Javed come down. We're like, son of a bitch. This is the worst card you can see against this list. You know, if we had Siege and we had Trebuchets, no big deal. We can clap those easily. But damn. We realize that we're only gonna see value of our just Titan duelists against these 2 little bugs.
Align yourself.
Totally sucked.
What do you want?
You know, this is why, though, we chose to put another siege support in. Because, you know, there's so many things that use Zeal. The chance of you just a better odds that you get one now to work with your Selkirk or work with your ANCs. And this is just a perfect example. So, you know, like I said, we got to play Selkirk out, again, because we're not playing great value. We might as well take advantage of ANC's formation and play him in the back row. And give him Zeal. So that certainly, you know, helps us gain an extra point. Which in a tight round like this, where we can only duel ones, that matters. The great thing is, you can see, before we even duel anything, we've got the win. So, Ooh, I'm gonna say that this is a tough matchup. We did go 2-1 against the Revenant list here. We actually able to 2-0. We actually played a Revenant list to get into pro rank, and we did 2-0 it because we went all in on round 1 and then thought, man, our best option was the 2-0 because really Revenants need a long round to build strength up, so it was kind of easy to get them in that vulnerability option and go. But if you do have to go a long round with them, your Lacerate is absolutely going to be your win con, probably. Honestly, you're not going to get huge removal with ANCs and Selkirk. They've got Curse of Corruption sometimes. They've got Heat Wave. I mean, there's so many things. This deck, excuse me, is trouble. And I'll tell you, man, those Redanian archers are awful. Oh my god, they're awful. Especially with Queen Adalia, there's so much that that list has that we just don't like. So these I feel like were stressful matchups for us. We did well against monsters. Against you know, lists that go wide. But this one, it's tough. Especially when they get Ronvid out.
Blood alone can my maid's honor unbesmirch.
In our last list, our Fight for Your Life monster list, again, we love to see this, because we then lacerate and get Glusty value, and we actually kind of contribute to helping them Revenant list go off. We just deal with the archers. It's still kind of the same deal here. You're real, you don't care. It's not the Revenants that you worry about. You can let your, hopefully you got lacerate value, and you can let your lacerates erase their Revenant value. Your big threat here is the Redanian archers, by far. You know, even if you have to lacerate the back row to take shields off, where then, again, it's not necessarily a great trade. And our shields are useless. You know, our shields are useless against this list because they do so much single proc value. It's really, you know, there's a lot of things that it punishes us against. Kind of a little bit of a misplay here that, or actually, no, let's see. Yeah, we got our TA out before we missed our crew ability.
Finally.
Hate to see them, especially because we're feeding right into this. Now, the one thing too, though, is when, you know, you play a Forbidden Magic, where does, you know, where's that Revenant land? Does it land on a row you've already got row punishment ready for, or does it land somewhere else? So, again, a little bit of RNG there. This is about the only good use we found of Dun Banner, when you can, you know, get them in between an Anna. The thing too is because we went first here, you know, we're really trapped into making sure that we can maintain card advantage. Yeah, Sile, man, she's a
My studies are more
good
important.
valued card as well. Our Anna's doing work, though. She's helping keep cards out of that 2 window, but it doesn't matter, I mean. Yeah, I'm wondering right here, you know, when's the right time to lacerate? You know, we have siege. Do we commit siege without being able to get a full proc commitment to it? Even though we could get AA for the other proc, so we've got options.
Temeria has yet to speak.
But we're gonna commit the AA right now. Again, like I said, I don't go for that kid winning night yet. But you see, like I said, I think we're trying to build a good enough lead. We think with Frigate being able to survive, we think that we're going to be able to tempo enough ahead without having to commit scenario. The thing about this is the reason I'm saving scenario is I want that trebuchet to do damage against the Redanian archers. That's really what I want to save it for. I want scenario to be able to handle getting bombardment out and just taking care of, you know, just because they're powerful. I think, you know, it probably would have been fine to get it out here. But again, you know, the other, I guess probably not though too, because you think about this, we're up decent points, you know, you don't want to commit too much. Opponent's got a long way to catch back up here. So I really am, I'm like, I got to take care of the Revenant in the back row. We don't care about the Revenants in the front row. So there, and you know, that's the other thing too. Now it's like, okay, we've committed a good amount of ballistas. Now it's like, well, the con to this is to get full scenario value, we might have to really depend on AA or our draws to get it there, and we've got limited number of options left. But again, we're up 20 points. We really don't want to commit our lacerate here. So I think, you know, actually though, I will say this: the longer the round goes on, the better off we are. He closed that gap pretty damn quick. But now you're like, okay, well, gosh, the longer the round goes on, potentially we could be stuck with a busted scenario in hand that forces our pass. You know, this is one time where Triss, thank you so much for that. So we're able to take his Revenants out. Stop his Revenant lead there. So, you know, and the reason I went Triss is because I was like, you know, I want the guaranteed lacerate. Triss doesn't guarantee me a lacerate. She's an RNG lacerate. So I'm like, man, I gotta preserve the guaranteed lacerate for later rounds. And I think here, if opponent plays, we're passing. There's nothing here more we want to commit. But we're so far ahead that the opponent would be really stupid to commit a card here. That's right, he does play a card. I'm going to say this is probably the misplay that costs... you know, you could say this is a huge misplay. Big time misplay. So we'll take it. Our opponent is playing a strong deck. Poorly, possibly. Yeah, it's just like, whatever. We've already committed so much there that... I don't know if he thinks that... we're going to just fight for the round so hard that we could overcommit. I don't know what his game plan there was, but I almost didn't feature this video because of that. I guess the reason I did show this, I had the 2.0 version, but I just thought showing our management of the Redanian archers, because he really pumps out a strong round 3 with his deck. Without any, and the crazy thing is he does it without any Revenant abilities. So because he you know, I could have probably gone for the 2.0 here, but you know, because I have a scenario in hand and lacerate value, two things that I feel like, well, gosh, to get max value out of them, I need a long round, and I don't have any engines in my hand for scenario. It's like, okay, but I have really good cards. Okay, well, fair enough. Then, you know, this is where it's like, well, we'll just make him go a card down. So we do, we pass. I do wonder how a 2.0 version, because I think that your best option might be to try and 2.0 with this list. You're going to absolutely, their archers, you know, the thing I think about, what I'm thinking about is I want the long round to get lacerate value and siege value, but hey, what if your siege gets heat waved? And, oh, by the way, their archers are going to make get incredible value in a long round. Those Redanian archers are worthless in a well, not worthless, but they're not nearly that great in a short round. So you can see this is the updated deck to the version you see now. No more Dun Banner. You know, the two siege supports in there. Ooh, here it comes. I mean, it is literally so many arrows they'd have to aim to miss. I'm like, well, haha, I'll counter that with Trebuchet, but again, I can't shield it up. It'd be a waste of shield, and look, they're gonna clap that so quick it's not even gonna be funny. So boom, look at that. Then we get heat wave. We're like, shit. We're not looking so hot right now. Even if opponent did misplay round 1. You know, like I said, he did discard his Revenant as carryover. So, you know, okay, does he have a Forbidden Magic still left to play? I need to get that shield pinged off. Get my warfare cards rolling to try and just get as many pings as possible. This is again why Ballista's huge. We need individual proc damage here, and so Ballista's being able to get that for us is huge help here. I hate to see another one come out, but damn.
So many of them, I'd have to aim to miss.
But we actually got the Purify here, which was kind of nice. So then we could get rid of the barricade there that will stop them from gaining points. So we're doing a decent job here of managing those archers before they just get extremely out of control here. He knows that ballista's been doing work to him, so he's going to take it off. But again, we're struggling to keep units on the board here. He's still able to just take care of everything we do. And, you know, the same thing is like, gosh, does he have Curse of Corruption? So if because these units play so low, I'm like, gosh, does my kid winning knight get Curse of Corruption?
Do something, anything.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what to play. I was a little bit confused as to go. So I'm going to sit there and try to protect as much as I can. But again, like I said, I just don't want to commit. We've got double SA, which is going to prove extremely valuable here. Another fucking archer, though. Jeez. Oh. He played 5 archers. He got 2 in hand. 1 from the Adalia. I already played with 4 archers. 1 from leader. 1 from Adalia. 2 from hand. But here he is. We're down 22 points. Like, damn. And our last rate doesn't have value yet. And he hasn't... The thing I'm shocked about at this point is he hasn't even used Revenants. I mean, what if he were setting up Revenant Death Blows here? Again, because we have Lacerate in hand, you know, that's why I'm holding on to it. You know, I will say, in the long round, if he would have had Revenants here, I still think we win. Because of Lacerate, you know, turning. I would have probably made Lacerate my final say and just decimate. Now, some lists run Voimir, but I don't think Voimir is very common. So out comes Becker's.
I'll gather my men.
Yo, Cusento, thanks for the raid again, my guy. So we're gonna AA at this point, you know. We gotta catch up in points. We're down 16 points. You know, we gotta get that Kedwenny Knight out. Yeah, I'm like, I don't last right here. So here we go. Kedwenny Knight, friend. Come help us. Catch up on points, please.
Scare and scatter the lots.
I'm pretty sure we get cursed here, too. Yeah, you hate to see it. You're like, damn. What a bad... you know, I double last say, and I don't... I mean, he's holding it. God. Plus, he's playing, you know, it's just insanely powerful options that really, really do match up against us. So at that point, I lacerate because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to give him archer value again. I'm going to make him play his final card and not use any of that ping. So that's great because he gets no Vincent value on us.
Gotta go with your gut.
So, you know, a lot of removal this round.
Stand and fight, cowards.
This is why I think we win, regardless of how the opponent played against this deck. Lacerate would have punished the Revenant row, and we don't even need double removal here. So I don't think I've made a deck guide recently that I can remember that has not included a Monsters Overwhelming Hunger list. You're starting to see a lot of... It's kind of... I felt like Lippy last season. You saw so many Ursane Ritual Lippy decks that it was hard to even keep track of all the different shit people were putting in them. Well, I feel the same way about Overwhelming Hunger right now. People are putting so much stuff in this stuff, in Overwhelming Hunger, that you're not even sure what option you're going to play. Are you going to play the Plague Maiden version that's using Glusty now? I mean, we played that version, which we clapped. We actually lacerated. He, quick note on that. He, Overwhelming Hungered his, Plague Maiden. And then, you know, was sitting with the ones there. Well, we lacerated the, row and just eliminated all that Glusty value. So again, you know, if you see that, you could lacerate and take that out. Or guess what? Just like Gord, if that Glusty gets tall, you could smoke it with ANCs. The question on monsters for me is always to bleed or not to bleed. I think we have strong, short, round 3 options. But Deadlaugh is, you know, a very powerful short round 3 card. So because we had the Mad Charge in there, you can see we keep our Syntron Knights. And we do think there's a lot of opportunity for 2s in a monster deck. So especially with Ballista rolling, we can kind of create our own 2s. I think the play here would have been using Syntron Knight, you know, pinging a larva with that, but unfortunately, I kind of missed that play there. But we did, like I said, that's the a larva that's gonna fully go off and see value. Yeah, I'm noticing it right now. Oh, crap. Yeah, I should have done it. Oops. Yeah, this, I forget. Fortunately, I am featuring this game. Opponent, I feel like, roped us pretty hard in this one. Game takes a little bit longer than you'd hope. We're actually worried, you know, there's some that have Mana Core. You know, Myrna's almost a auto include, but Mana Core isn't. So, you know, we were like, man, at that point we got 2 strong 5s on the board.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
Yeah, I think, again, we really want to secure a strong round 1. But again, I'm thinking about, you know, possibly needing that Headwindy Knight. Especially because we're playing early in the round. Technically, Anna's going to play for more than 12 because she boosts engine. So really, you know, if you've got a lot of cards left to play, Anna is certainly going to make your better play there for the continued value that he'll provide. So the great thing here is now, you know, because we've gotten Warfare cards out, we can get our Syntron Knight value, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, you do have to play him in the front row. And make sure you don't play him next to the Frigate. He is not no soldier value there. But again, always getting that 2 Vitality proc. that he provides is awesome, and then the extra value that he provides to the Mad Charge, you know, win-win. We've got Trollio out, we've got the Ballista out, so you can see that we're really making good use of our warfare package here. Just, you know, again, squeezing all the extra value and extra points out of lower provision cards. I mean, you know, these are 4 and 5 provision cards that we're playing. You know, we didn't even have to get out our Ascension Knight, but if we would have needed Trollio there, that would have been another 2 points of shield on Trollio. It'd been another point of ping damage from the Ballista, and it would have been an extra vitality ping for the Mad Charge. So, you know, powerful stuff. So now we're going to keep the Mad Charge. That probably makes the most sense to aggressively go after so we actually, at this point, you know, we do see that we get the Siege Ladder, which we know we can get shield value, or scenario value there. But I'm wondering, do I take the long round 3 against monsters? And I think with Lacerate, it's almost like I got Triss and Lacerate. There's some things here that are just like, man, the value here looks so good to take a long round 3 and punish. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's take the long round 3 here. He gets an opportunity to do some nice thinning here as well. We're out of here. A quick debate whether it should be done. It was still, you know, it's still a tough matchup. You know, Overwhelming Hunger has high point ceiling. Especially, like I said, we are not running Heatwave here. So that means that Scenario is going to go off. You're going to see a lot of people try to defender it because they think most people are running Heatwave, which they are. But like I said, we have to be strong here because we have to deal with a full proc Scenario. There's no way to deal with get it off the board. So again, our best bet though is to play Scenario early and really deal with that Lacerate value. You know, like I said, I really liked our hand there. No need to redraw. We were pretty fortunate in what we got. That gives us AA into the Kedwenny Knight. So. So, you know, the one thing too, I don't want to commit. Here's the big thing. Because of Consume, we know that Troll is going to commit. You know, our Haunt is going to make the Consumes go high. So I'm fine with Scenario going off. What I don't want to do is use my damage or my duels to get rid of his Cave Troll. I feel like we are losing tremendous value. So my hope here is to wear the Troll down with all my other cards so that I've got Troll removed. And then I can duel past up to the bigger units. You know, try to get the 12 and the possibly 20-point units, or maybe it's a glusty, whatever it is. So that's, and certainly getting heat waved ourselves when we can't heat wave their scenario sucks. But I really have to commit to hoping that the more units he plays, the less our trebuchet is gonna hit a troll, and it potentially hit a tall unit, which then loses us dual value. So that was kind of a tough position to be in here. And we're really hoping hard that he takes the Royal Guard. And we needed RNG to ever be in our favor here. Thank gosh it was. So huge. We get the damage back there. So like I said, we're going to take that down. With the 2 damage ping, it'll go down to a 3. And then we have to hope for 1 more trebuchet ping. And then we can let Lacerate get us past it. So that's really what our goal here is with Cave Troll. But again, the wider he goes, the harder it is for us to get pings. We're very happy that he didn't take our ballista there. I don't know exactly why he thought a 4 damage card goes after a shield unit. Don't really know, but we'll take it. Because again, we absolutely need a round defender. Dude, look at how many times we play Kedwenny Knight. I mean, making very good use of AA and, Kedwenny's own deployabilities. Fantastic. Come on, Trebuchet. Do your job. Let me say it like Trebuchet. Get the job done. At this point, it's a little bit risky. Our strategy was a little bit risky. Because if you think about that, if we aren't able to get around... Say we have to use a duel. Say we have to kill Troll with a duel. Look at these tall units we're missing out on. That totally sucks for us. We don't want to have to do that.
A way to accelerate time.
We sit on these shields a little bit again because we're just hoping. We got to get them out. We want more Lacerate value, so it's about time we start playing our duelists. And now Trebuchet is gone, so we're like, shit. So we're going to either hope for... So that means at this point we need to Triss. Yeah, we're gonna have to Triss for a double Lacerate, which would be certainly nice. Or we're going to have to spend one of our duels to kill 3. So not using the duel is certainly not the value we want to use with. So certainly, it sucks that we're holding on to shield units. We're gonna lose a shield proc there. So it's like, man, we've already given up 2 shield charges. We wanted to save them from getting any removal, and then we're like, man, we're missing that. So this is kind of where it was like, all right, Triss, you know, that's fine. We thought, well, natural selection, at least get a little bit of which plays in the back row, and we know where Cat's gonna decimate. So not the best. The strategy didn't pan out. I still think it was the right strategy because at the end of the day, we never got the lacerate, which would have been nice because we would have still been able to double lacerate past it. But the one thing it did allow me is instead of having to double lacerate right away, you know, was maybe trying to hope for him to get a little bit of extra value on the back row. He had a Purify, which completely sucked. We weren't really expecting that. But we know we have a shield proc left. Even if he does get another Werecat damage on us, it's only taking my NCs down to a 6. So I still feel good that I can get that 20-point card off the board.
I'll not show a moment's hesitation.
We don't know what necessarily the last card is. We know that Ances is going to get lacerated. So at this point, it's like, okay, well, maybe we go for that. Maybe we go for that call removal here. We also want to take his consume off the board. I mean, how powerful is that? I mean, extremely, extremely powerful. We do take our chance. I mean, he's got, so that really does turn the tides here. But you're gonna see, I mean, he's got all 3 leader procs, and you know, he's got Oz value, which really, you know, he catches right back up in a hurry. Werecat value, so it really only wastes 1 leader charge. So that's alright. We will get the lacerate for final, say, punishment, maximize its value. Just counting which row gives the value, but with rats, back row is where it's at. And we pull out the victory. Like I said, we did well against monsters overall.